Welcome in, Bears fans. We are starting the morning off, albeit late for the pregame, the postgame, or any of those games. We're going to do a nice little recap going on for the Bears' 25-24 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Today, postal game, we look back at one of the wildest games in terms of finishes this NFL season so far. Raiders. How you can talk to the Raiders, because they're in Vegas, that's what that is. And it was a one-point thriller that came down to guts, glory, and a Josh Blackwell block kick. Over the next 15 minutes or so, we're going to break down some highlights, go through a highlight video per Bleacher Report, talk about some turning points of the game, and talk about some people that contributed to being the player of the game. Spoiler alert, there are a lot of contenders for this particular event. So we're going to throw in some mailbox moments. That's right. Postal puns are back. They will always be around, and they never stop delivering. And we're going to see which squad we believe truly delivered today. I believe it's the Bears. I know it's particular people on the team that we think did they big one, as we talk about. So let's go ahead, roll some of that tape. We're going to go watch this nice little highlight and get into what is going on in the world of the Chicago Bears. Let's go ahead and find out if we can get this show for us over here. So give me a moment as we pull up the wonderful screen known as the highlights for the Bears. Bear down and bear with me as we watch these highlights. Let's see what we got going on.
Boy, Gino has to feel that high snap on 3rd and 10. Throws a dart and he's picked.
That's our first pick.
Center of the field, it's fired. And Bayard has some running room. Gets down nearly to the 20-35
well
on the return. And what a start for this Bears defense.
Now we on. Look at this.
Little read option, handoff, but that
Max
Raiders
Crosby
front was not fooled. Max Crosby making first contact.
Try to force day. Let's just look at it that way. Max gave us constant problems from the beginning of the game till almost the end of the game. In that particular time, especially in the first half, a pass deflection, another pass deflection that ended up in his hands for his first career interception. He had numerous pressures, and he disrupted the pocket throughout the course of the first half. And there were very few times in the beginning of the game that I thought the Bears actually had a chance to win. With that being said, let's check out a few highlights here in terms of scores. We did, after Ashton Jeanty and the Raiders took the lead first with a pitch and catch. Nice touchdown pass for Ashton Jeanty being his first. And one of the hopes was that we did not allow those guys, i.e. that running back, to do his thing against us. That was not the case. But we opened up in terms of getting back on the board after that 7 points for them. We got 3 points put up by Cairo Santos, and the Raiders extended their lead before halftime. We're going to go back into some clips, see if we can see anything that would lend itself to giving us hope that we were going to win the game, because the defense started out on fire. Let's go.
It into that zone coverage.
Well, within field goal range here is Crosby backs it up high at the line of scrimmage.
Another block by Max Crosby.
So 2 balls batted on back-to-back plays.
Chaos.
So Cairo Santos, 11 years.
Here's our Cairo Santos kick.
He's right down the middle. Boy, they roll the dice, and they don't get it.
Now we got a fumble right there on Ashton Jeanty.
So that'll
to
give
Reese
the Bears even better
with the
field
recovery
position,
of that fumble
close
to
the
Reese.
20.
And Kevin had a wonderful time
Play clock down to
in terms of
Williams.
their defensive performance the other day. This was a critical point in the game. We're up 3 already. We got a goal to go on 3rd down. And what happens? Max gets his hands up, gets that paw up, and go ahead and get that actual pick.
We're going to get him back at some point.
Let's see how we get into this next play right here, because I do believe this is the chance in which Gino makes it happen for his team, and they get into the end zone here.
And Sewell is really taking advantage of this opportunity.
Now, Dennis Allen likes Edmonds in that spot. This is JT out of the
That's right. This was the play in which Ashton gets his first NFL touchdown.
For the Vegas touchdown.
Did not like it whatsoever. It did not make me feel good. But nonetheless, the Bears are down 7-3 in that game right now. And by halftime, the Raiders did have the lead 14-9. But the Bears were not out of stamps. We had plenty of envelopes ready to stuff and get back out in the streets. The mail was not delivered. There was a return address, and Chicago's defense was making sure that the ball was there constantly. However, at the half, we did lead, or trail, I should say. We left. You know, so many things early in the morning get you discombobulated. But we represent from Morgan Park. We're going to act like we had an education. And also, we get back to the highlights as we try to get to the second half. Here's Caleb. Let's see if we got anything going on.
Football's loose.
He fumbled it, but he did recover it. He does that a lot better than
Chicago
one
first
Mr.
disaster.
Justin
Max
Fields.
Crosby again, right in the thick of the party
Right
for
now,
the
we're
Raiders.
still up
But they have a
7-3.
lot of different
Now,
variations when they
here's the
give an
moment I
offense
believe
this
that we
look.
might get
Raiders
behind.
0-2 on
Let's see.
third down so far. Gino protected
Gino is
this
doing
time.
his thing.
Gino
Oh,
over the middle.
it's not. This is when my
Almost
man
It's
Kevin
fired.
Byard does his thing for the second time in the game. And at this point, you think
Have not
there's
played
really
their
no
best
reason
football
why the
on the
Bears
road,
can't
and
do
it's
things
looking a bit like the
to
same
crush
here.
the Raiders.
Santos hit from 46, and this one is
Unless we
good
end
from
with a field goal there,
43.
we're still only in the game by one as we trail. Ashton continues to do the things that he wanted to, and this 60-yard run here was pay dirt for him. Finally, he explodes, no less to the detriment of the Bears. I believe they had 240-plus rushing yards against us, and Ashton had a day. 3 touchdowns. Will things like that touchdown run be the deciding factor when it comes to the Bears losing?
Some of
We shall see.
attractions to check
Caleb
out
on
here in
3rd and 2.
Vegas is Caleb Williams.
Nice catch by Rome. Rome has been a blessing all year, and we get into a 52-yard attempt by Cairo Santos. That in itself is a bit surprising to me because 50 was typically the range that he was not comfortable in. So good for Cairo to go ahead and knock that down.
Questions.
As we get into the second half, we understand totally. Second half of this game is going to be something that gives us a Tyreek Stevenson interception, which we just will get to momentarily. And on the next drive after that, let's see if the Bears can go ahead and show us the things that the offense was going to do to help out the defense, who has been playing lights out thus far. Let's see if any of those things that the defense has done so far will go ahead and set up the team for success moving forward. So we're going to try to get back to these highlights here, and I won't forget to show them to you this time. Let's go.
Geno Smith going to
you won't have it, Geno. You tried to throw across your body, and Tariq Stevenson was not having it.
With a mesmerizing play. 125 yards.
Third pick, by the way, and I spoke about this one. Watch this beauty to Rome. That touchdown puts us in the lead in the third quarter, 16-14.
Chicago
At this
has to
point,
do
the Bears
everything they
are
can
finally starting to move the
find
ball
a way to
offensively.
knock out
They
the
have
run
made
and
some
make them
changes on the
one-dimensional.
offensive line.
Underneath this is
Both tackles,
Bowers has
Brock
a couple
Bowers,
of blockers. He's got a convoy.
didn't
And
disrupt the
Bowers
game
gets
in
on
the way in which I
plus
thought
side
he
of the field.
would, just coming back from an
Second and
injury.
goal.
But he did give them the opportunity to have this,
Geno underneath over
once
the middle.
again,
Genty.
third touchdown
He's got his second touchdown
score
catch.
for Ashton Genty. He cabbage patched me, and they are up
I think the right decision is to
21-16.
punt, but call me
Now,
old-fashioned.
as we get into the third quarter here, 4th and
Penalty
6,
numbers starting to pile up now for the
Tory,
Bears.
I believe, for the first time in my
Troy
life,
Taylor.
I saw Tory do something that was purported that he would always do as a fourth-round pick.
Taylor.
Wonderful ball
Geno
placement
Smith.
there. Tory put them in a position to actually go ahead and have the defense do what they have done throughout the course of this game. The defense, while the run defense was absolutely atrocious in this game, the overall aggressiveness, the attacking presence, minus QB pressures. We didn't have much thing to much pressure to affect Geno Smith. At the same time, if you kind of look back, we did a very good job of shading and being able to anticipate where he was trying to go with throws to make said plays on those. And early in the game, before the run defense became unhinged, we saw the defense create a fumble with Ashton Genty carrying. So it started out the right way. It ebbed and flowed. We did have a very porous run defense to the tune of 240 plus, I believe. Nonetheless, let's go ahead and get into the rest of these highlights and see if the team does the things that they need to do in order to win for us. Let's go ahead and check it out.
And company going to be pinned back deep. Deep on the plus side of the field, penalties and miscues, making these field goal attempts
Cairo
even more
again with a
difficult.
field
But boy,
goal,
they have been
21-19.
really relying on Cairo Santos, who's been sensational. Genty getting a breather here. Mostert giving him
Here's
a
another
blow.
first down
Mostert's got a
run.
first down run
Mostert had a decent
into the second level.
start to his
Finally
Raiders career. I
on
think
the
this is his
play.
first game playing.
A pickup of 38.
He did enough to
Try
get
to
them
extend
into
this
field goal range
to a
here.
4-point
That
lead.
29-yard attempt gave them a 24 to
AJ Cole is
19
the
lead.
holder, and
Barely
Carlson's
went in.
kick
I think it missed,
inside
but
that
hey,
right upright.
they say Carlson banged it through.
Committed by
Let's see what the Bears do as a response.
Marks him back at the 41.
Caleb played lights out in the fourth
yard
quarter.
line. Williams steps up. Williams,
I believe,
first down and more. Making it happen
Very
with
rarely
his
did we
wheels
get
inside
past
the
a first
30.
down. First to
and
first
goal
was
Bears,
how he
buck
operated in this
39
particular
left in
drive.
regulation.
One of the more
Swift.
impressive drives, and it is capped
Swift
off
to
by
the
DeAndre Swift.
end
Way to get that rushing
for the
touchdown.
Chicago
DeAndre's been much
touchdown.
maligned this season in
And
terms
the
of
Bears
the things that he
punching
does
back
for us in the rushing
have
game.
retaken the
I do
lead
believe
here
that
in
he has
Vegas.
done more than he has been given credit for in the game of the pass pro, blitz pickup, the pass catching,
It's just a foot
and
race.
just the
Blue
tough
Kelly
yards that we
alert
wouldn't
some
typically
side, some
give
sort
him
of
an
zone
opportunity
read
to get. Let's see if they get the two-point conversion.
Caleb
We
Williams,
know they
left
don't,
side.
but let's see if the play call was actually
Williams
working.
steps up.
This
Williams
is a
looking
situation where
end zone.
I do not think Caleb should have thrown to
And it
Rome.
is gonna be
That
batted
was
down.
a
Buck
situation where you
27
got a
after
bit
39-yard
locked into a
return from
receiver.
Loudon. Here they come.
We're up 25-24.
Free rusher,
Won't
and
get to that
somehow is able to
field
get it
goal
out cleanly to Bowers.
distance that we
Second
needed.
and 4.
Expect
Well,
Dennis
that
Allen
field
to
goal,
continue to be
distance
aggressive.
in
That
terms
last
of
play
the score.
was an all-out
Would have been
blitz.
27-24 with the two-point conversion.
Geno Smith
Instead,
again right back
the
to
Raiders get the
Bowers,
ball
first down
back
and more.
with
Have to
a little
start
under
to
2
think
minutes
about
left to
these
go,
timeouts here
and
now for
they
Ben Johnson.
meticulously drive the ball down the field.
Jacob
We get here,
Bowman,
and
the
this is the
snapper,
moment where it
AJ
changes.
Cole, the holder,
Josh
the
Blackwell,
kick is blocked.
and we needed that so very much. When Josh was on the field here, watch this right here, the layout. Watch the layout as he, boom,
And
right across the middle of that play.
First blocked
Both hands
field goal
up, full
for
body
the
extension.
Chicago Bears
39 is the hero.
since week 2
Keep
of
him
the
quiet and watch your coach.
season. And the reaction from Ben Johnson.
Very, very good, better, best when it comes to the way in which Ben responded there. I was all but pumped when we think about it that way. Had to cut us right there at the crescendo because it gives us a lot of opportunity to find out exactly what went wrong throughout the course of the game and how we were able to make any inroads into coming back. The Raiders did have, like we just saw, a chance to win that game with a 54-yard field goal by Daniel Carlson, but the post office was not open for delivery that day. Sundays, we do not take those types of things very well. And when Josh came off the edge, we escaped. That block, combined with the stellar defense of the secondary, Bayard was player of the game, I believe, although it's very hard to overlook the fumble recovery and the pick by Tariq Stevenson, and nobody gets any credit for the things they did without Josh Blackwell getting that block at the end of the game. I would still like to say that Bayard would be my player of the game and gets that stamp of approval simply because he was the unquestioned leader in terms of being a proven veteran. He now, in his career, leads the league in interceptions since he's entered the league. So he's still steady as he goes. And the veteran presence that he has to be able to keep the defensive backfield settled when the front seven is not actually getting the pressure that we needed them to get. But they did just enough for us, and those things really worked out for us, and what a finish. The Bears delivered most when it mattered. The Raiders come up just short, and the mailbox says Chicago wins by 1. Those were the turning points for us with those early turnovers. Rome's touchdown in the third did give we needed points, and we needed to be able to have the offense move in the right direction. We did have a switch at tackle with that. Theo Benedette played left. Ozzie Trapillo replaced him on the right side. And I do believe, if we get into it just very briefly, there is a bit of a whispering winds that upon our return from the bye, Theo Benedette will be starting the left tackle to, in fact, replace Braxton Jones, who was benched in the third quarter, I believe. 138 yards for Ashton Jeanty. Not what we wanted to see from the Bears in terms of allowing that young man to have his breakout for the NFL. Nonetheless, his breakout came in a, albeit loss, a very record-setting way, in which he's the second rookie since Bo Jackson to have 3 touchdowns in a game. Max was a terror, but the O-line did make adjustments. Ben did make adjustments to the script. Caleb was nails in the fourth quarter to be able to show you that he is continuously making those improvements week in and week out. Everything is getting better for me. I want you guys to weigh in and let me know, who do you think was the player of the game? Was it Josh Blackwell? Was it Caleb to manage the game? And the fourth quarter drive was absolutely phenomenal, and something that we want to see him produce throughout the season and throughout every possession in every game. Can we go to the dark side and say maybe Max Crosby, who absolutely wrecked the game, was in fact the player of the game? Or do we go with the guy in which I said kept us in the game throughout the course and gave us the opportunity to be the backbone of a comeback, Kevin Byard? We don't know. You go ahead and let me know. That block, that leadership from Caleb. Crosby tried to be a bright spot for his team, but Byard and his interceptions were huge to me, and those came when the game was still wide open, so it kind of gave us the opportunity to stay at bay. Obviously, I told you my nomination. You let me know who you nominate as player of the game, and what do you think was the critical or pivotal point to go on in that game. What would you say this tells us about both teams? At 2-2, the Bears have an opportunity, with the schedule set up the way it is coming off the bye, to make hay and possibly be 5-2, 6-3-ish when the midway portion of the season comes around. But it does show us that when the offense is stagnant, the defense can do the things that they need to do in order to keep us in the game. And conversely, the offense can take over when those guys are a bit fatigued, so that we can keep drives going, keep them off of the field, and in turn work in a symbiotic fashion so that the special teams can come in and do their thing just as well. Ashton Jeanty will be a gem. Sad that he fixed his running style or went back to his original style against the Bears. Nonetheless, wasn't a dream killer for us because the defense had the bright spots needed to go ahead and get that game won, including a special teams save, and that is how the Bears dug in. If you are a Bears fan, you got to celebrate a road win in Vegas. If you are a Raider fan, well, I got some change of address forms for you because that game got sent back to the sender. Before I go, drop your play of the game pick. Like I said, if you like the breakdown, like the content, subscribe to the channel, check out other content so that we don't miss future recaps, pre-games, or any other videos that are breaking Bears news, Cub news. Go Cubs, go. And if you want me to break down the next Bears game or possibly any other NFL matchup, tell me who, tell me when, get that mail on the way, and we'll get to delivery. Thanks for watching. Remember, we deliver analysis. You deliver the hype. See you next game. Postal Gang, until next time, until next delivery, we are out. Talk to you, and we gone.